Hey there guys, SaintsKnight here. Welcome you guys back to the channel here with another movie review. And today's film that we are going to be reviewing for you today is the newest adaptation of the much beloved Dr Seuss classic, The Grinch, or How the Grinch Stole Christmas 2018, depending on where you're from, what it may be called and so forth. Anyway, full clarification, as in all our reviews, there'll be absolutely zero spoilers, although I don't know how I can spoil The Grinch. I mean, if you haven't read it or watched any of the other things, first of all, what the hell? It's a timeless classic. Well, the book and the Boris Karloff adaptation, that Jim Carrey one, that's a bit dated, but more on that later. And second of all, this will be unspoiled, and also, I have to say as well, for all our review purposes, if you agree with what we have to say, good. If you don't, also good. This is just our silly personal opinion, so take this list with a pinch of salt. And also, before we begin, whatever your thoughts and opinions, leave in the comments down below at the bottom of the video. And apart from that, with that standard boilerplate stuff done, let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to keep seeing these reviews on the channel, you know what to do. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. So without further ado, can't get comfy here, let's dive in to The Grinch. Now, my whole history of The Grinch is a really positive one, really. I mean, when I was, I think I was 6 years old when I first read the Dr. Seuss classic of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, I immediately fell in love with it. And since then, I read that every Christmas. I mean, I get the book right now, but I actually don't know where it is, and I'm moving. So maybe in one of the boxes. But and every year, me and the family would actually gather around and watch the Boris Karloff How the Grinch Stole Christmas cartoon. And again, love that. Jim Carrey's one, however, at the time when I was a kid, I thought, it's alright. Now, I thought it was god awful because it was so dated, so cheesy, and Jim Carrey's just too over the top. But, and when I heard that the Illumination Entertainment, who, if you don't know, did such movies as the Despicable Me franchise, the Minions movie, and The Secret Life of Pets, and their newest film about to be out sometime next year, The Secret Life of Pets 2. So I didn't have that high expectations for this, and overall, what did I think about it then? It was an alright movie, actually. I mean, was it the best adaptation? Probably not. I mean, it's nowhere near Boris Karloff version. But if you don't know what The Grinch is about, basically it's about this this guy who basically hates Christmas. I'm not going to say why, but this guy who hates Christmas, and he hates it so much, he decides to steal said holiday by stealing everyone's presents. And for this movie, as far as adaptations go, I felt like this was a faithful adaptation of the classic book. It's got all the basic story elements from the books put in with a little bit of additional stuff that is enough to do it justice. The animation as well, if Illumination is known for one thing, and that is their animation for like the Minions and all that sort of stuff. Which they did a short movie of the Minions before the movie was alright, but I'm not going to talk about that because it was too boring and I couldn't figure out anything noteworthy to talk about it. Basically, I'm trying to get to the whole point that their animation for like a lot of their movies is quite good. I mean, The Grinch was probably, and this movie was probably their best animation to date. I mean, everything from like the snow, the trees, the Who's of Whoville themselves, the Grinch himself, and probably the best feature, Whoville itself. I mean, when I first saw it, I actually wanted to live there because it brought me back to my childhood, like all candy, like gingerbread houses, slides everywhere instead of pathways. It just looked like fun, or a little bit like a theme park. A surprising thing for me about this film is that it's really heartful and it tugs on the heartstrings quite a lot. I mean, even like with a lot of scenes involving the Grinch, and actually some of the Who's in Whoville, being like Cindy Lou Who, her mom, and like her friends, basically are very good. I mean, besides the Who's in Whoville in this one, in the Jim Carrey one, I hated the Who's because actually the Who's of Whoville because they all were dicks. They were ginormous knobs. They were people that you could just think, I fucking hate you. But here, the Who's were actually very likable. Mainly Cindy Lou, her mom, and probably like this guy who is friendly with everyone and all that sort of stuff. And as well as that, this film had Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch, and the acting in it was really good. Again, Benedict Cumberbatch being a good Grinch. I mean, not as good as Boris Karloff, but better, voice-wise, than Jim Carrey. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jim Carrey's physique is great as the Grinch. However, his I'm the Grinch, Brian Blessed, over the top Shatner voice is kind of a bit too cartoonish, whereas Benedict Cumberbatch is not cartoony, well, not too cartoonish like Jim Carrey's was. And probably the best thing for a kids show, well, kids movie, because this is what it is, it's a kids movie. The most important thing would be, is it entertaining for kids? Is it good for kids? I mean, and yes, it actually is entertaining for kids, although, would I recommend this one to them? Yeah, I would recommend it to them. Although, like a lot of Grinch movie, actually Dr Seuss adaptations, it does have a lot of problems. And a lot of the problems in this are, now that I think about it, a lot of the problems that Horton Hears a Who, the Lorax, basically all modern Dr. Seuss adaptations have, that I figured out, like the Cat in the Hat. Like, it started off with Cat in the Hat, but it's now gotten more serious and all that, through like the Lorax and all that sort of stuff. The problems were that it was too, that I felt that the Grinch felt a bit too, like, whilst the Boris Karloff movie is a timeless classic that you could, that if people from like 10 years from now were to watch all three Grinch adaptations, you'd probably love the Boris Karloff one more because that has a timeless message and it's a beloved favorite for people of all generations. This one and the Jim Carrey one is dated and would be good for children now, but 10 years down the line, you will think that the music was bad because it's like all hip hop rock, actually like beat pop music, trying to sell a native pop CDs, sort of thing. As well, the narrator was a bit, actually his thing was a bit too dated as well. And honestly, again, another problem that I had for it, actually the last problem that I had that relates to the Lorax and stuff, this felt like, whilst it was a faithful adaptation, at times it felt like a shameless cash grab for me. I mean, like I said before, the Whoville, whilst it looks intriguing with the candy, like sort of aesthetic, the slides and all, it just, remember when I said, ooh, Whoville seems like a theme park? I think that was what they were trying to do. I think they were trying to make Whoville look like a theme park so much that people will probably think, we may actually want to turn this into a theme park. So that during the Christmas holidays people could come in and just lay about a bit. And the last problem I had, minor nitpick like this one, because kids thing, but I felt that it was too silly. And and by too silly I mean that some of the jokes are too silly and too juvenile. I mean, it had too much of the Minions vibes. Like, there was a lot of fart jokes, a lot of fart jokes that were heavily featured in this film, which took me a little bit out of the story, but not too much. So, time now for the final verdict. It's a tough one. I mean, if I was to score the other Grinch movies, I'd give the Boris Karloff one a 10 out of 10 because it's a timeless masterpiece. It's a classic. It's a masterpiece. You need to watch it. The Ron Howard live-action Grinch, at the time I would have given it a 6. Now I would give it a 4. This adaptation, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. To me, 6 out of 10 is slightly above average, which, I mean, is actually quite good, all things considered. I mean, the reasons why it's 6 out of 10, that, I mean, whilst it's pleasantly animated, and true to the actual book written by Dr Seuss, the dated jokes, the dated songs, the cash grab feel, the silliness of the jokes, and just the blandness of it knocks it down to a 6 out of 10. But if there was one movie that you would bring your kids to watch, if there was a film that you'd bring your kids to for Christmas to teach them about Christmas, like the joys of Christmas, like the good of people, I'd watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the cartoon, not the Jim Carrey one. I'd watch the Boris Karloff one because that's a far superior version. But if you want to waste money and just keep your children entertained whilst you just fall asleep for a little bit, this should keep you covered. So the Grinch gets a 6 out of 10. So these are my thoughts. What did you guys think? Whatever your thoughts, whatever your opinions, leave in the comments down below. And apart from that, I'm afraid it is now time to end today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy that. If you did, then please do me a huge favor. Smash the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you're not new, then do not forget to click the bell icon next to the subscribe button to get notified on all upcoming videos. And apart from that, guys, we will see you in the next video. So until then, guys, it's your boy, SaintsKnight here, signing off. Peace.